The 2024 Newcastle Architecture Awards are proudly supported by the Australian Institute of Architects National Corporate Partners, Taubmans, Alspec, BlueScope, Lysart, Fielders, Dulux, Brickworks, Bondorma Techno, SMEG, Planned Cover, Architecture Media and the Image Makers Association, as well as New South Wales Gold Partners, Kraus Bricks and #1 Roofing and Building Supplies, and Silver Event Partner, Partridge, and New South Wales Category Partners, Lysart and Danpal. For over 40 years, the Australian Institute of Architects has upheld excellence across the profession. The Institute recognises and celebrates all efforts of our members, projects and teams in shaping communities through inspirational architecture across Australia and overseas. Welcome to the 2024 Newcastle Architecture Awards.
Hello everybody, how are you all? First of all, can I say how amazing it is to be in Newcastle. What an amazing place. You are all lucky enough to live in or be in. How fantastic is that? But first of all, we should just ensure that we acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we're meeting today, the Awabakal and Worimi people, pay our respects to the elders past, present and emerging. And indeed, I want to extend that recognition to any of our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander friends, colleagues and family here tonight. Thank you for your continual custodianship of the land of which makes this continent. We will be richer for understanding the knowledge and depth of your culture and community as time goes by. So thank you very much to the traditional custodians. Before we jump off tonight into the awards and really celebrate what is an amazing selection of projects from Newcastle and the immediate regions, I just want to first of all acknowledge we have Stuart Tanner here, the National President of the Institute of Architects. Stuart's going to come up and say a few things and then I'll take over again. So Stuart, over to you.
Wow, thank you, Adam. It's great to be here. It's really, really lovely, actually. I come from the beautiful island of Lutruwita, Palawa and Pakana peoples in Tasmania. So it's, it's really interesting having the perspective of being national president coming from Lutruwita, Tasmania. So I also wish to extend my deepest respects to all First Nations people everywhere. I had the pleasure of growing up on that beautiful island and wandering the coast and just discovering by myself just amazing Indigenous sites, just empty. And yeah, they're really, really moving. So I think we all could learn so much just by listening. Newcastle, it's just fantastic to be here. Especially so since the last time I was here was 1984. And I came here as this young surfy dude, travelling the coast, going surfing, and I just heard, go surf Merewether Point. So I drove down there, and when I arrived and looked at it, and it was big, and there were some guys out the back, and I just thought, okay, all right, well, I'm here. So I paddled out there and sat amongst, looking with these guys looking at me thinking he's a blow-in. And I thought, is that Tom Carroll? Maybe. Anyway, I took off on my first wave and got completely drilled into the reef and paddled in with my tail between my legs. So, so it was really nice to go for a body surf early there this morning and reclaim the point. But also it's really meaningful to come to the Newcastle Awards, particularly as a national president coming from Tasmania, because essentially you do feel quite regional down in Tassie, and I think the regionality of our practice right across Australia is absolutely important. We're greater than the sum of our parts, and we all are striving to do the same thing, and that is do great work. And I think regardless of any outcomes tonight, we are all striving so hard, and everything that we do is for the greater good. So really, I'm just looking forward to sitting back and or standing there and actually seeing what pops up. So I'll hand it back to Adam. You're in very good hands with your fantastic New South Wales President.
Thanks, Stu. I just want to say, I also grew up in the regions. I grew up in rural Victoria. It's really amazing to be in a city, though, where you have the potential of being educated in architecture and actually practicing in architecture in one city. It's really phenomenal, actually, to have that opportunity in Newcastle. I want to do a shout out to everybody who works at the university, particularly across the profession, who commit time and effort to ensuring that Newcastle has that as a part of your fabric of the city. It's super important. It means that as a student, you don't have to leave here to be here. And as someone who had to leave, I really acknowledge that the value that is to Newcastle. There are a couple of things that are super important, I think, right at this point in time: sustainability and housing. Sustainability is the biggest challenge we will ever deal with, and housing is the greatest challenge of our generation. You all already know that there are people sleeping rough in Newcastle, which absolutely breaks my heart. It's kind of one of those things where you think that couldn't happen in rural Australia, in regional Australia. It couldn't happen. How does that happen? How do we let the most vulnerable of our society live on the streets of our cities in places where we know people? They're not people we don't know. They're our friends, they're our family, they're our cousins, they're our relatives, but it is happening. The challenge for us as a profession is to work out better ways to provide housing at better prices, quicker. To do that, we've got to work with the people, our friends and colleagues in planning, to make sure that it happens quicker. We've got to get into politics. We've got to make sure that people like Elizabeth Watson-Brown in Brisbane, who moved from an architectural practice to become a sitting member in the Senate for the Greens, is trying to make changes in the way in which we deliver things. So I think it's super important that we, as a profession, really look towards how we're going to solve sustainability, really. If you were at the national conference a couple of weeks ago, we had an amazing speech by Stan Grant, who said that the act of architecture is violent. The act of architecture is actually inherently unsustainable. We will never produce a sustainable building. What we will produce is buildings that are more sustainable than not, and that is the challenge for all of us. And it's as equally difficult in the regions as it is in the cities, and I'd say it's actually harder in the regions as it is in the cities. In a regional environment, you not only have to deal with the fact that there are limitations on the capacity of the industry to deliver, but also the person you're building a house next door happens to be your cousin, and they're going to be angry at you next weekend because you're taking a bit of shadow from them. So I recognise the challenges that that exist when you're working in the regions, but I must say, from the 23 projects across the 9 different categories that were submitted this year in the Newcastle Awards, it's remarkable work. It's really fantastic. You should be all incredibly proud of the type of projects that you're producing here. As an industry, as an organisation, I would say we have the Institute, this is between the people in the room, we probably haven't treated our regions well. In the past, we've focused a lot on the cities, and one of my main ambitions as president in New South Wales is to rebalance that, to make sure that we understand that there are a vast number of people in our state living in the regions, and as a profession, we have the responsibility to ensure we do our very best in the regions, and you are the people who are going to do that. It's up to you to make it happen, and I really acknowledge how remarkable the projects you are. I want to thank you all for submitting and wish you all luck. Fabulously, as a president, I have absolutely no knowledge about the winners of the prizes. It's something that's kept completely away from me, so I get as excited as you do. We have a really robust awards program in New South Wales of independent jurors, independent chairs, and I think every project is visited, and that's what makes it unique. There's lots of awards in this country, but we're the only only ones who actually visit all of the projects, and I think that's to be commended. To the jury, I want to thank the jury chair, Ben Berwick, Sophie Woodcock, Aaron Cook and Chris Mullaney for their time. It was 3.5 days, they told me. It is a big commitment, but it's an amazing thing to be able to go and visit all the work. So I hope that the jurors enjoyed it as much as the participants. I also want to acknowledge the Institute staff. Without the Institute staff, Peter, who's here, Wendy, Wayne, Melina and Yuanta, this wouldn't happen. They put in a huge amount of effort, not only to accept your awards, but also to then work out which program we go on to make sure that actually the jurors aren't going from 6 a.m. in the morning to 12 p.m. at night. So thank you for all of them. And I really also want to thank the partners, to the awards partners, Kraus Bricks and Number One Roofing and Building Supplies. Kraus Bricks, Clinton Kraus down at Kraus Bricks is an amazing person, third generation brick maker from the town I grew up in. So I actually put a bit of pressure on Clinton to give some money to the awards. I'm like, come on, Clinton, let's do it. He said absolutely, absolutely. And Number One Roofing and Building Supplies, who also supported the Regional Architecture Awards last week. There's some of the people here, I think. Put your hands up because it was quite a party, I must say. They do know how to party, Number One Roofing and Building Supplies. And I also want to thank the silver event partners, Partridge, and the category partners, Lysart and Danpel. And it's super, we're really super appreciative of your support. It's really critical to us. The time and effort you put in, it's not about sponsorship, it's actually about becoming a supporter and becoming partners of ours. So we really want to thank you and for your continued engagement. You're really lucky because Tim Ross was meant to host the National Architecture Awards last week and he pulled out because he was sick. He was sick. But we got him for the Newcastle Architecture Awards, which I think is really fantastic, actually. So Tim, for those of you who have been living under a rock for the last 11 years, Tim is pretty much he's the person who takes architecture to the people. He talks about architecture in a way that the general public can engage with. He makes things that we make complicated simple. He makes it enjoyable. He actually engages my parents in what architecture means, which I think is amazing. But you know, from the kind of television shows you see Tim do, the books that he does, but also to doing small shows in people's houses and getting your next door neighbour involved in architecture. Tim does a remarkable job at kind of engaging people in architecture and the value of architecture. What does design mean and what the value of design is? So Tim, last year, Tim was, actually in 2019, Tim was awarded the National President's Prize for the Institute of Architects, and last year it was really fantastic. He became an honorary fellow of the Australian Institute of Architects. So we hold you in extremely high regard, Tim, and thank you for the work you do because you make us, you make our lives better, actually, and we want to thank you for that. But over to you.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, Mike. Very kind. Give Adam a big round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen. I don't quite know. I don't really know what the honorary fellow does. I know I'm not allowed to practice, so I was a bit disappointed by that. I was ready to knock up a few granny flats on the side, but it is lovely to be here. Yeah, I got some sort of virus and I couldn't do the National Awards, but it is wonderful to come up here. And when I arrived, actually, someone said to me, "Oh, Rosso, I didn't recognise you. You look like you've dressed up," which is very kind. And of course, you know, over the years, I have had bigger beard, bigger gut, bigger hair, the whole lot. And when I used to work in breakfast radio in Sydney at Nova, I had to interview Matt Damon for this movie that he was doing in this hotel in the city. And he was a lovely guy, Matt, and I'd finished up the chat and I was walking downstairs and Matt Damon was walking downstairs and there was a coffee cart out the front and I ordered a cup of coffee and then Matt Damon ordered a cup of coffee. And when they arrived, Matt Damon paid for my cup of coffee, which was really lovely. And unbeknownst to me, this woman from the film company, she was watching the whole thing happen. Apparently she went back to the office and she said, "Oh, that Matt Damon, he's such a dreamboat. Not only is he good looking, not only is he a great actor, but I just saw him buy a cup of coffee for a homeless person." I was up here I was trying to think last time I was here. was here for the jury, and then I was on the national jury, but I was here doing some filming for a couple of days, and it was the sort of tail end of the pandemic, and I had to get one of the things that had to get me to obviously get a test so I could do all the work I was doing, and people freaking out about things. And it was probably I can't remember where it was the most Newcastle experience I've ever had, because I was driving through this drive-through testing thing, and there was a guy there standing there. It's like it wasn't very warm, and he's in his shorts and he's got his high vis on, he's got no mask on, and he goes, "Are you here for a COVID-19 test?" And I went, "Yeah." He goes, "Mate, we're pretty chockers at the moment. We need you to go around the corner, and there is another holding zone there, and there's another gentleman there in high vis, and you'll wait in that holding zone until it's no more chockers, and then you may proceed through and have your COVID-19 test." And I went, "Okay, no problems." So I went round the corner, and there's the guy holding the lollipop, and he goes, "Are you here for a COVID-19 test?" And I went, "Yeah." And he goes, "Oh, just go straight through." So I go back. And the guy at the start, his demeanour's completely changed. He comes bounding up to my car like a Labrador, and he puts his head, "I've just worked out who you are. I fucking love brutalism." I was going, "Mate, he's got no mask on. I don't care. I just fucking love brutalist architecture." Great. So I go to Newcastle. But the other thing I will tell you before we get into it is it's been really lovely. People talk to me about design and architecture all the time. Everyone wants to come up and tell me about their houses and stuff, which is lovely. And it's good. And it's like, people want you to come round and see their house, It's like, "Oh, can you come around? Oh, you in Tasmania? You and Kevin McLeod should come and stay." "Oh, yeah, no problems, yeah." And I was in this cab. I had this cab, and this cab driver said to me, goes, "Oh, Rosso, I used to sit on Triple J. That was pretty good. And then, I like those documentaries you do on architecture on the ABC. They go all right. You've carved out a bit of a niche for yourself, haven't you?" And I went, "I'm not sure anyone else really wants it, but yeah, I suppose I have." And then there was this sort of awkward pause, and he looked out the window, and I looked out the window, and then he turned around and he goes, "Yeah, you're right. Because if Van Doe suddenly decides he likes architecture, you're fucked." All right, there's some swearing for you at the awards. What else do I have to tell you? I think it's really... I echo Adam and Stuart's sentiments in terms of acknowledgement. I often say at my events, and it's really nice just to take a little bit of time at some stage tonight on your way home, or when you're getting bored or you're shitty about not getting an award, just to think about the wonderful lives that were once lived on these traditional lands. And I love the words of your colleague in Melbourne, Ajifa Greenaway, the Indigenous architect, who says we can concrete over country, but the stories still remain. It's important to remember those stories. I was going to try and do this without my glasses, because I've got, the print's pretty big, but we never know. Because what happened, right, is I was getting these new frames the other day, and my wife said to me, goes, "Oh, you look so handsome in those frames." I went, "Really? Oh, I better get 2 pairs there." And then the thing is, my left eye is weaker than my right eye. And so when I got the actual frames, I was like excited to see my wife, and I'm like, and then she goes, "Oh, it looks like you've had a stroke." So now you'll be looking, you won't be able to unsee it, like the fact I've got an incredibly small mouth, which you can't. It's true. Like when they always ask me, "Why aren't you smiling on the telly?" It's like I can't. It's like doing push-ups for me. Small mouth, can't I? Okay. What do I need to tell you? A little bit of housekeeping with this stuff is please turn your phones off. That's really important. I know you'll all do that stuff. Now, I apologise in advance if I get your name wrong, if I'm doing my best, if you're up for award. If you've made up your own practice name and it's a bit stupid, that's your own fault, really, that's live with it. For those of you who are here really have got no chance of winning and you know that deep down, thanks for making up the numbers. That's important. We have some good news. If you win, we got sort of named award or commendations. If you get a common award, you come up here and you can do a speech. There is a sense that 2 minutes is enough. I don't tend to be a bit judgy on that. If you want to go on, if you If you want to say a few words, say a few words. You know, if you had too many drinks already, I might tap you on the shoulder, but otherwise go for it. If you get a commendation, you can come up here. We're letting you come up here, but no talking, all right? It's good, but not that good, so that's important. What else do I have to tell you? Afterwards, if you did get an award or a commendation, please join us with all the people who are presenting up here on stage in the back room for photos at the end. That's incredibly important. But otherwise, let's crack into things. Let's get started by taking a look at the first round of nominees for the ColourBond Award in Steel Architecture. Here's a little video.
Maggie Street, by Curious Practice, built by Eli. St Patrick's Primary School, Lochinvar, by Shack, built by Richard Crooks Constructions.
You've got to be careful with voiceovers, because if you're saying by Curious Practice, they're not by Curious, so they're allowed to be. You know, and that's fine. We're all cool with that, but, you know. It's a modern world. Let's all have a by Curious Practice. Good to see you, Nathan. Big round of applause for Nathan being here. Doing a great job at BlueScope. We in this situation here, you know, you do a bit of grabby here, a bit of shaky, and a bit of shaky and photo everywhere, you know, in a beautifully bi-curious fashion, if you were. Okay, the jury has awarded one commendation and one award, and the commendation goes to Maggie Street by Curious Practice. So come on up. Well done. So come and... Well done. Congratulations to Curious Practice. And there we go. Quick photo. And the ColourBond Award for Steel Architecture goes to St Patrick's Primary School, Lochinvar by Shack.
St Patrick's Primary School, Lochinvar stands as a testament to exemplary architectural craftsmanship and an unwavering commitment to holistic design principles. The school's use of ColourBond steel finds its resonance not merely as a matter of aesthetic taste, but as a profound demonstration of sustainability and community-centric design. ColourBond steel, employed in external cladding, roofing, rainwater tanks and exposed framing, intertwines effortlessly with the broader architectural tapestry. A symphony emerges where the play of light and shadow, texture and form evokes a sense of place and purpose. Resilience and continuity resound through the use of ColourBond steel in the pedestrian walkways, central gathering space and covered outdoor learning areas. This award pays tribute to St Patrick's Primary School, Lochinvar's embrace of ColourBond steel, an attestation to the school's vision and sustainable future. Congratulations, Shack.
A big thank you to ColourBond, the Institute and also the jury for making the effort to travel up to Lochinvar. We've been involved there for over 10 years now, so to see the project come to a completion over multiple stages is really exciting. Thank you to the Catholic Diocese for trusting us with this project, and also to Principal Project Management who have helped us throughout the project. Thank you.
Wow. Congratulations. Please thank Nathan too from BlueScope for being here. Before we move into the next round of nominees, I'd like to thank Kraus Bricks, who are our gold partners for these evening's awards. Unfortunately, they couldn't be here, but they have sent the following video.
Good evening. Tom Parks here from Kraus Bricks. We've been crafting specialist bricks here in Western Victoria at our factory in Stawell since 1945. Our company is proud to be a sponsor of such a special evening. Thank you to everyone there tonight. You all play a vital role in our industry. Your architectural concepts continually push us to innovate and stretch the bounds of brick making. Good luck to all the entrants there tonight.
Good job. It's now my absolute pleasure to invite to the front Cherry Parsons from the Regional Committee to say a few words and to introduce the next round of nominees. Please give Cherry a round of applause.
Thanks, Tim. After many years of COVID lockdowns and pre-recorded presentations, it really is great to have everyone together to celebrate the 2024 Newcastle Architecture Awards. I'm speaking on behalf of Regional Committee Chair Phoebe Glanville, who's currently gallivanting around Japan on an Archi tour and cannot be here with us tonight. The Newcastle Architecture Awards includes projects throughout Newcastle, the Hunter and Central Coast regions, and are an important fixture in the Australian Institute of Architecture Awards program. They provide a platform for public and peer recognition of the outstanding and innovative works ranging from small to large projects. I'd like to acknowledge the outstanding quality of this year's 23 projects, which were submitted over 9 different categories. It's important to note that many of these projects were designed and constructed throughout a time in which the construction industry has faced the global pandemic, rise in material costs and other external pressures. I'd also like to thank and recognise the commitment of the awards jury, Aaron Cook, Chris Mullaney, Ben Berwick and Sophie Woodcock, who visited all projects over a 3-day period. A task that's both challenging, time-consuming, and ultimately rewarding. Thank you to the Institute staff, Peter Fry, Wendy Ridgely, Melina Daru, Wayne Eggleton, and Juanita Moon for their support and direction. Without their commitment, the awards program would not be possible. Thanks also to my fellow regional committee members for their commitment and ongoing contribution. And lastly, on behalf of the Regional Division, I'd like to thank this year's entrants and congratulate those recognised in the Newcastle Architecture Awards celebration tonight. Good luck, everyone. It's time now to take a look at the second round of nominees, spanning across commercial, education, heritage, interior, public and small project architecture.
Maitland Administration Centre by Maitland City Council, BVN, PTW and EGE, built by Hanson Yuncken. Parry Street, Newcastle by BKA Architecture, built by North Construction and Building. St Philip's Christian Education Foundation Central Office by SHAC, built by North Construction and Building. Watt Street Commercial by CKDS Architecture, built by Mainbrace Constructions. St Patrick's Primary School, Lochinvar by SHAC, built by Richard Crooks Constructions. Nissan Hut, Belmont North, adaptive reuse, additions and alterations and conservation works by Nimbus Architecture and Heritage, built by T White Building and Construction. QT Hotel Newcastle by SJB, built by Richard Crooks Construction. Olive Tree House by Bastion Architecture, built by Smart Additions. Singleton Arts and Cultural Centre by BKA Architecture, built by Leahy Constructions. Prince's Studio by Curious Practice, built by F&D Dividus Building.
Great range of projects, and thank you, Cherry. I'd like to invite to the stage our category partner for this round, Jeff Trevathan from Dan Powell, to hand over the winning certificates. Please give Jeff a big round of applause. Let's get into it, starting with commercial architecture. The jury have awarded 1 award in the commercial category, and the award goes to Maitland Administrative Centre.
The Maitland Administration Centre is a triumphant embodiment of architectural excellence, seamlessly weaving the past and present to enhance the rich tapestry of Maitland's urban heritage. Situated within the historical High Street, the project emerges as a harmonious addition to this vibrant corridor, where historical significance meets modern functionality. The Maitland Administration Centre stands as a testament to architectural excellence, seamlessly intertwining the past, present and future of this vibrant urban centre. Its positive, welcoming and community-oriented design makes it a deserving recipient of this award. Congratulations Maitland City Council, BVN, PTW and EJE.
Thank you. I'm Ben from Maitland Council. It's probably worth explaining the collaboration on this project, quite unique because of the structures we work in at local government. So BVN for the initial design, PTW for the documentation phase as well as the interior design, EJ through the construction phase, working with Hanson Yuncken. Yeah, so probably really hats off to all that team for tying it all together and keeping the initial design initiatives going all the way through the project. And it's just an exciting project for Maitland and the High Street to have another significant civic building there.
Thank you, Ben. Might also point out that Ben is a qualified architect, used to work for us at EJE, but he's gone on to a career in local government, but it's fantastic seeing how he has influenced Maitland City Council into the quality of architecture. And I think this building is tantamount, is really appreciated because of Ben's work. Interesting project to work on, as he said, a collaboration of 3 architects. BVN's original scheme was very, very good. Clearly needed some work between the concept and the documentation, which was also very, very good by PTW. But then we were tasked with getting it built. And it was a complex building, very complex. The Brise Soleil, which is the main facade, we had to redesign to actually make it fit and work and actually meet budget. We did that, and it sits beautifully in High Street with really respecting its heritage buildings, that one in its sort of very front facade, but then the town hall as well. And the scale and the design from BVN really made it sing. The way the veil of the Brise Soleil works, I think, is tantamount to it. But also the environment that PTW have created inside is stunning. And I'm sure in working there, Ben, it's a beautiful place to work. So thank you.
Congratulations. Moving on to educational category now. The jury have awarded 1 award in this category, and that goes once again to St Patrick's Primary School in Lochinvar by Shaq.
The jury is pleased to award St Patrick's Primary School Lochinvar, recognising the project's exceptional achievements in architectural design and master planning. This project, conceived as a manifestation of the 3-leaf clover, has transformed an existing educational institution into a flourishing haven for learning. This project exemplifies the successful fusion of architectural finesse, pedagogical excellence and environmental consciousness. It demonstrates the power of thoughtful design in shaping a thriving educational community. Congratulations to the entire team for their outstanding work. Congratulations, Shaq.
Go.
Thank you. I don't have too much more to add except for the Shaq team, who I think all up with us over 20 people who worked on this project. So a big thank you to everyone who's been involved. Thank you.
Well done. Good job. So important to have fabulous schools. Thank you for your great work. Moving on to the heritage category, and in the field of heritage, the jury have awarded 2 commendations, the first of which goes to Nissen Hut, Belmont North, Adaptive Reuse, Additions and Alterations and Conservation Works by Nimbus Architecture and Heritage Proprietary Limited. Not in the room. I'll accept it on their behalf. I was doing something the other day and they had there's a building, something or other. I won't bore you with it, but they had the Lifetime Achievement Award, and the guy didn't turn up. It's like, oh, God, I got to fill a bit of time now. Not as bad as when I did the Master Builders Awards last year. I went in there when I was, the thing goes for about, I don't know whether you've ever been for it. I've had marriages that have been shorter than that thing, seriously. And they do like best renovation, 525,000 to 540,000, It's like, oh my God. And it went for about 4 hours. I got a break 2 hours, went to the bathroom, and there's a whole bunch of tradies doing lines off the baby changing table, Oh, God, and they're making your things look beautiful. Oh. Okay, all right. Where are we up to? Second commendation goes to QT Hotel Newcastle by SJB. Great project. Congratulations. Okie dokie. I've got no more stories about other awards things tonight, I promise. Moving on to interior architecture, the jury have just awarded a commendation in this category, and that goes to Olive Tree House by Bastion Architecture. Congratulations. Beautiful. Well done. Good to have you here. Next up is public architecture, and just a commendation in this category as well. And that goes to Singleton Arts and Cultural Centre by BKA Architecture. Another great project. Yeah, go and make sure you grab a photo. And big reminder, if you've been up on stage, or you've got a commendation or award, that we will get you to join us at the back for these special photos. They're important. Finally, the last category in this round is small project architecture, and the jury have awarded one award to Princess Studio by Curious Practice.
Finely crafted proportions and joinery have been carefully assembled within a 41 square metre floor plan to create an abundance of space and amenity. A floating roof provides a sense of space, and external wall openings are arranged to respect the privacy of neighbours. The considered use of timber for structure, linings and many of the fixtures engender a beautiful, warm and sustainable building. This freestanding studio is an inspiring example of design excellence being combined with affordable and sustainable construction practices to create a delightful living experience for a young family. Congratulations, Curious Practice.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank the jury, and I guess also just generally the quality of work that's starting to emerge in Newcastle, and it's really nice to win this project on a project that's very, I guess, small project, but also very low budget, and showing that architecture can be done really well on a tight budget. And it's a good award to win, and we're very thankful, and good to be part of it. Thank you.
Well done, gents. I remember fondly filming one of your projects. Which one was it called again?
Vicky's Place.
Vicky's Place.
Yeah.
Great house. It was fantastic. And then we did a full-time film in there for Brickworks. And we had a really nice, beautiful owner. It was really lovely. And then these guys, right at the end, the truck backs up, and they have to put all the Vicky shit back in the house. It's like, and there's everyone from your team like, oh, what are you doing? Moving everything back in. It was great.
The real side of architecture.
The real side. Oh, no, I know it too. I'm doing it. I do these house shows, and I've got one coming up at my house. And we did the last time we did it. My kids are going, "Where are all my toys?" Don't worry, the truck's coming back on Monday too. Oh, so funny. Okay. Thank you to Jeff and Dan Powell, Jeff at Dan Powell for your support of this category. Alrighty, for the next round of nominees, I'd like to invite to the front Alan Dowling from Partridge, who are our silver partner for this evening awards, to say a few words. Please give Alan a round of applause.
Thanks, Tim. Hi, everyone. My name is Alan Dowling. I'm an associate consultant, Partridge Consultant Engineers here in Newcastle. We thank you for inviting us to share this evening, and we're really pleased to be part of the wonderful event. Having worked closely with the AIA across states for a number of years, we're really excited to be part of the chapter and to collaborate with you all. Partridge delivers consulting services with over a number of engineering disciplines, namely structural, remedial, hydraulic, event and civil engineering. We've been providing these services for 40 years now and close to 70 staff. We've located in Sydney with our main head office with approximately 50 people. We have a branch in Victoria, Melbourne, and we also have a presence in the Central Coast and also here in Newcastle. Partridge is proud to work and deliver the relationships we've built to ensure successful outcomes. We've received a number of engineering awards from excellence in both concrete, steel, timber design, excellence in structural engineers, to name a few. And we've achieved these through the close collaboration with architects like you and, of course, builders. Partridge pride themselves on their vision and mission, which is deliver solutions with creativity and passion. I'll just leave it at that. We aim to do this across every state that we work in, every project that we deliver, and every individual that we collaborate. Finally, and more importantly, thanks for all the entrants in this year's awards, and congratulations to all the winners in advance and all to those who are going to win in the coming hours. Thank you for your time and have a great evening. Back to you, Tim. Yeah.
Thank you, Alan. Good to have you here, mate. I'd like to invite to the front Ben Berwick, this year's jury chair, to say a few words and to introduce the next round of nominees.
Thank you, Tim. So it's my pleasure today to represent Sophie Woodcock, Chris Mullaney and Aaron Cook as the jury for the Newcastle Architecture Awards 2024. So to us, the Newcastle Architecture Awards, they really represent more than just recognition. They symbolise the pursuit of creating a built environment that represents the aspirations and values of our community. As the jury, we had the difficult task of assessing, as you know, 23 projects in 9 categories. And this was across Awabakal, Darkinjung, Wonnarua and Worimi countries. And I must commend the jurors and fellow jurors for dedication and commitment to the rigorous process as well, as it was quite a tiresome sort of 3.5 days, also on the weekend. And as a jury, I mean, we carefully examined each submission, of course, seeking projects not only push the boundaries of design, but also harmonise with the context and enrich the lives of those who interact with them. Throughout the deliberation process, we were reminded of the power of architecture to shape the way we live, work, and play. And the winners chosen today have all demonstrated excellence in design, execution, and the ability to innovate. But they also understand the importance of architecture in weaving the story of Newcastle and preserving its heritage and embracing the opportunities of the future. I would also like to thank the Institute staff, particularly Peter Fry, of course, for his tireless dedication to ensuring that we stay on course. And also to our driver, Rick, as well, who drove us to all of these sites. Even if at one point Rick may have got lost in Barrington Tops as we were off-road, we had to be rescued by the next contestant, might I add. So yeah, I do want to extend my heartfelt congratulations to all participants, of course, and to the winners. The dedication and passion to architecture has been truly inspiring. You've played a vital role in shaping the future of our city. And so thank you all, and let us continue to build a Newcastle that inspires, innovates, and thrives through the power of architecture. Now, let's take a look at the third round of nominees spanning projects across the residential architecture categories.
Aru House by Curious Practice, built by Eli. Karen's Place by Studio Dot, built by Built Smart Constructions. Kemp Street by SDA, built by BuildArt. Kilcare House by Southmark Architecture, built by Cochrane Constructions. Lawn House by SDA, built by East Elevation Construction. 10 by 30 House by Matt Thitchener Architect, built by Glenn McFarlane. Gaimea Beach House by True North Architects, built by Custom Built Projects. Karua River Retreat by Shack, built by Eli. Olive Tree House by Bastion Architecture, built by Smart Additions. Pacolban House by Matthew Woodward Architecture, built by PCM Projects. Dent Street Double by Curious Practice, built by Eli. Huntington by SJB, built by Block. Maggie Street by Curious Practice, built by Eli.
What an amazing round of projects there, and I think I think it's really. I think you fall in love. I do anyway. I fall in love with places through their architecture, and I mean, Stuart, you know this from Tasmania. You're a place that really punches above its weight in terms of architecture, and you can see this. You can feel it happening here because if you stay and practice here and work here, and it's extraordinary. So, congratulations to everyone because it's really inspiring work. I'd like to invite Rob Portelli from Lysart to hand over the winning certificates in this category. Give Rob a big round of applause. First up in the residential architecture category is alterations and additions. The jury have awarded 2 awards in this category. So we've got 2 awards. That means we've got 2 lots of speeches, which obviously... Would we call that a tie? Is it a tie? Is that really what's going on? Is it equal merit? All right, that's good. This means there's some heated conversations going on in the back of the Tarago. Good stuff. Okay. The first award for residential architecture, alterations and addition goes to Aru House by Curious Practice.
Weatherboard cottages have historically neglected considerations of prevailing breezes, orientation and gardens. Aru House, meaning insect in the Awabakal language, masterfully interconnects sensory amplifiers and augmentations to rekindle a long-forgotten sense of place within this typology. Aru House is proof of architecture's capacity to elevate human experience, melding quality, craft and innovation to instill joy, delight and a profound sense of place. It is with great enthusiasm that we celebrate Aru House as a beacon of architectural excellence and an exemplar of the transformative power of design. Congratulations, Curious Practice.
I suppose we should thank the builders. But yeah, I guess it's a really nice process to go through, alterations and additions in terms of working with existing housing, working with builders, working with clients. I was the client on that particular project. But very thankful to, the family's the number one client. But yeah, very thankful to get the award and share it with someone else as well. Looking forward to hearing who the next person is.
Good job. That's on. Do you want to announce them?
Oh yeah, can I?
Yeah, do it.
Yeah. And the second award for the residential architecture, alterations and additions, goes to Karen's Place for Studio Dot.
Yeah.
Karen's Place is an exceptional and meticulous transformation of a heritage terrace house that showcases a profound commitment to preserving historical character while simultaneously responding to the evolving needs of its occupants. This project is an exemplary achievement in architectural design, one that transcends a simple renovation. It is a testament to the enduring value of preserving history while embracing the future, a sanctuary reborn with a multi-generational vision. Congratulations, Studio Dot.
Yeah, thanks, Warren, for that one. Yeah, well done as well. Yeah, so I don't know. Some of you actually might know Karen. She lives in the East End and she's a bit of a character, but she was a great client and yeah, great to work with. So have to say thank you to her and thanks to the jury. Yeah, thank you.
Very good.
Good job.
I was lucky that, you know, there's no weirdness between you and Warren or anything like that. Because I don't know, maybe you used to work for them and you left because you weren't bi-curious enough, or, you know. Anything. Residential architecture, multiple housing. The jury have awarded 2 commendations and 1 award this evening. The first commendation goes to Dent Street Double by Curious Practice. There we go. Grab your photo as well. That's our first commendation. And our second commendation goes to Huntington by SJB. That's why it's good to have sometimes a little play on music, you know. Fills the space, you know. Okay. Well done to the team at SJB for that. And our actual award for residential architecture, multiple housing, goes to Maggie Street by Curious Practice.
Maggie Street demonstrates that urban infill and densification can be nuanced, sustainable and respectful to an existing neighbourhood's character and rhythms. The 4 standalone homes are all electric with solar. Void-forming water tanks in low-carbon concrete capture and reuse precious resources, while the permeable driveway and low-water native landscaping slow urban runoff. The robust materials consider end-of-life recyclability and reduce maintenance. These sustainable principles embedded within its fabric will set new standards for this typology. Congratulations, Curious Practice.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the jury for taking the time to walk through with us. A massive shout out to our team. It's a fantastic bunch of people, and we're obviously very fortunate to work with a fantastic builder and some incredible tradesmen on this project, and they should all be recognised. Thank you.
Well done. Okay. That brings us to the final residential residential categories, residential architecture new, and there are 2 commendations and 1 award in this category. The first commendation goes to 1030 House by Matt Fitchener, architect. Matt's not okay. Keep that for later. The second commendation goes to Kurrawa River Retreat by Shaq. Well done. And our award goes to Olive Tree House by Bastion Architecture.
Olive Tree House presents a delightful model for increasing the density of our suburbs, cleverly navigating planning controls to deliver a comfortable family home on half the average lot size. Careful internal planning and inventive details ensure that every square metre is working hard. Rooms and circulation spaces take on multiple functions, and extensive built-in furniture doubles as storage. Material selections such as the painted sheet cladding, proprietary awnings and timber windows are appropriate to their context, as well as the aspiration that others might follow in this house's lead. Congratulations, Bastion Architecture.
Thank you. First of all, thanks to my client, my husband. He got a little bit of input, but not a lot. You can ask him what his key design features are, but he did find the block of land that meant we could subdivide and put a second house on it, which is probably the biggest hurdle of the project. Thanks to the builders. The builders are, so this house is in Stockton, which for those of you who don't know is just across the river. It's a little isolated pocket of Newcastle. So the tiler, the builders, the concrete is our neighbour. I think the window fabricators and the joinery were the only people we couldn't source from Stockton. So it's a true local project. And as the citation mentioned, it is a small house, because I think we need to show good design in small projects, a bit like what Warren was saying earlier. So it's lovely to have a small, humble, I mean, it's not humble because everyone recognises it as an architecturally designed house, which I think is a good thing. And as I work in the front room, I hear all the comments, but most of them are pretty good. So I feel on average we're doing all right. Thanks to the jury. It's a big contribution to our community to take the time and effort to judge these. And I know the conversations you would have had would not have been straightforward. So thanks for this.
Great speech. Thank you so much and congratulations. Okay. And please thank Rob for helping us out from Lysart. Now we move on to the pointy end of the evening, ladies and gents, the announcement of the Newcastle Medal. But before we announce the winner, I'd like to invite to the front Marcio Da Silva from Number One Roofing and Building Supplies, who are the gold partners for this evening's awards, to say a few words.
All right. Thank you, team. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm here from Number One Roofing and Building Supplies, a company that has been around for over 20 years in the building market, supplying manufacturing goods for you guys. We have worked with probably most of you without you guys knowing, and we'll still keep going if you allow us to. So I'm an architect by trade, came from Brazil, and my role is actually to represent the company and help you guys to help us. At the end of the day, if you need anything, you should always come to Number One. Enough about us. We are here tonight with a bunch of esteemed architects, creative minds. And I would like to invite you guys to go back in time and try to remember when you were young and you wanted to change the world. You dreamed of shaping skylines, designing spaces that go beyond the ordinary, and leaving a permanent mark on the world. Today, as architects, you find yourselves at the forefront of that dream, holding the power to transform the built environment. However, let us take a moment to reflect on a crucial aspect often overlooked, which is the power of collaboration. In our pursuit of architectural excellence, it is paramount to acknowledge the pivotal role that collaboration with suppliers play in achieving a better outcome. The synergy between architects and suppliers is not merely a transactional exchange of goods and services. It is a fusion of vision, innovation, experience, and craftsmanship that propels your designs beyond the realm of imagination. Architectural brilliance is not forged in isolation, but through a dynamic interplay of ideas, expertise, and resources. And as we stand at the intersection of creativity and construction, let us embrace the truth that bridges the build with our suppliers and the very foundation of our aspirations. So, what I really wanted to say at the end of the day, let us reimagine, guys, our roles not as a solitary visionary, but as a conductor of a grand orchestra, where every instrument, every architect, every supplier, every builder, every designer, contribute to the harmonious composition of the architectural opus. Together, we can build not just structures, but legacies, testaments to the boundless possibilities that unfold when architects and suppliers work in unison. Just to finish, I would like to cite the words of Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, as most of you know. A goal without a plan is just a wish. So thank you very much for the Institute of Architects to having us as sponsors, partners. Thank you, Peter Fry, for everything you've done for us and for the Institute. I would like to also congratulate all the winners that have already won your prizes tonight and the ones that are still to win. And back to you, team.
Oh, great. Thank you. I was very impressed by that. You know, I was expecting, oh, it's really great to have you guys here. I'm the only one in the office who really, no one else wanted to do it. And, you know, I know sometimes it's hard to get through. Cheryl's been a bit mental lately, but, you know, that was great. Thank you so much. Thank you for the thought that's gone into that. Beautiful. Stuart, thank you so much for being here, mate. You know, it's I was thinking that some of you, you know, talented architects born in 1984 might be wondering whether he's your dad or not, but all right. I wasn't here, mate. I wasn't even born then. Tonight, we've got the most prestigious accolade awarded by the New South Wales chapter, the Newcastle Architecture Medal, and it's selected by the jury from all the projects entered in the Newcastle Architecture Awards. So, without any further ado, the winner of the Newcastle Medal goes to Maitland Administration Centre by Maitland City Council, BVN, PTW and EJE. Congratulations, guys.
The Maitland Administration Centre is a testament to the principles of architectural harmony, historical continuity, and functional excellence. It stands as an exceptional addition to the fabric of Maitland, preserving the city's rich history whilst revitalising the High Street, skillfully knitting together a diverse ensemble of architectural eras with its block-wide approach. The jury was impressed by the project's approach, marked by a graceful simplicity in form where vertical elements are meticulously designed to resonate with the surrounding context. The deliberate use of masonry as a grounding material bestows the administration centre with a sense of permanence, echoing the civic and cultural significance it holds within the community. The Maitland Administration Centre is a beacon of architectural prowess, redefining the city's civic identity. The jury wholeheartedly awards it for its exceptional contribution to the built environment and its respect for Maitland's history and future. a very worthy winner of the Newcastle Medal. Congratulations, Maitland City Council, BVN, PTW and EJE.
Well done. There's an obvious line here about how many architects does it take to design a building. Ben did allude to the hyper-complicated local government procurement processes that lead to... there was the 3 architects here, but there was also 2 heritage architects and various other kind of players in this. We started on the project, I'm from BVN, we started on the project back in 2012, did about 25,000 options of what the building could be, and kind of ended up where we are today. As Bernie pointed out, we didn't get to do the design development, so we didn't sort out the Brise Soleil, but, you know, fortunately that was okay. I think it's not a small challenge to try and bring together a bunch of buildings over a whole different series of times, from 1888 to the 1930s to kind of now, and, you know, a building that was arguably the first shop in the Hunter, possibly the first shop in New South Wales, possibly the first shop in the world, which stands there pride of place now, wrapped by the kind of this idea about how you kind of knit this whole thing together. And High Street Maitland, of course, has this most extraordinary streetscape. You know, it's almost, you know, it's like Ballarat or somewhere. You know, it's this kind of amazing sort of symbol of the success of the Hunter through its time, and trying to create something within that streetscape was, well, it was basically terrifying. And I don't know, did we get there? Did we get their team? A little bit more? And of course, actually the idea that we're in a flood zone, actually in the flood basically, and getting access, universal access into the existing town hall, which is the most extraordinary space, via this new building, and creating this lobby which services a commercial space and a public space and a performance space and a whole series of kind of public areas, is just kind of an amazing outcome. So anyway, it's great. Thank you, team. It's been awesome. And I got 2 for some reason.
Congratulations. Well done. Give them another round of applause. Winner of the Newcastle Architecture Medal. Congratulations. Well, that brings us to the end, ladies and gentlemen. Big round of applause for all the winners tonight. And I would once again like to thank our wonderful gold partners, Kraus Bricks and Number One Roofing and Building Supplies, as well as silver event partner Partridge, and category partners Lysart and Dan Powell. Please give them a round of applause for their ongoing support. Please thank all the staff for putting on tonight. Peter, Wendy, Melina, Wayne. Don't forget, if you've been on stage at any stage tonight, we're going to get your photos done in a second. Bar's closed, unfortunately. It hasn't. They didn't even close it during the event. They're sitting there doing a bit and there's someone up there getting a Bundy and Coke during the thing. I like it. It's good. Really good to be here. Really great to see such a wonderful standard of work, and looking forward to having a chat. Thank you very much for being a great audience. Thank you. Oh yeah, and the sponsors as well. Yes, at the back. Thank you.